What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Tier List of Video Game Podcast. We are now at the end of the season. We had 6 amazing episodes with 6 great guests talking about 6 great games. Say that 6 times fast. And now I am here with a special guest to go through all of the results. Again, it's all about talking about a game from your backlog or a book club style game, what you like, what you want to bring. Everyone on the show says, I think it's this tier, I think it's that tier. And then you, the listener, had the chance to vote. Now that the season is done, voting is over. We have the results. I have not seen the results myself, but I'm going to go through this journey with a good buddy of mine. Joining me today is Manly Brian himself. What up, Brian?
What's up? What's up, everybody? I don't know how to work Twitch on my mobile, so I can't pull up the actual stream.
Oh, we're not live, buddy. I don't do these live, just in case somebody says something insane. You know what I'm saying?
Who would do that?
Who knows? This is more of a party episode, so I'm drinking a bourbon. What about you, Brian? That's awful audio, by the way, listening to me drink. Brian, but thanks again for coming on. You've been an avid listener, from what I assume. How have you felt so far about season 1 of the show?
I'll tell you what, this show doesn't have enough followers. We got to come up with a plan and get you some more because it's a banger of a show. I could listen to you talk all day. You should start reading audiobooks or something.
Once upon a time. No. Thank you. I appreciate it. But we had a good season. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Our first episode was Dave Jackson talking about Resident Evil 4, the original, not the remake. That is the one that we specifically did. Dave Jackson on that episode gave Resident Evil 4 an S. An S tier is a masterclass in gaming. This tier represents an all-time great, something easily recommended to all gamers, pinnacle of his genre, top 25 all-time, or near perfect could describe games placed here. That episode, I gave it an A, which is excellence in gaming, widely regarded as fantastic games most people would enjoy playing. This tier could represent personal favorites or games that stand out among the best in his genre or game of the year material. So
I want you to know, season 2, I'm going to vote more according to your requirements in how these things are written out, because I was just really going with my gut season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And after I read some of your specifications, I was like, ew, maybe I didn't quite do that like I thought I should.
You got to go with your heart sometimes. But you are looking at the Patreon. So patreon.com/the tier list is one way you could vote, as well as every episode I put a straw poll in the description of the episode. So straw poll, as far as the audience went, where did they vote on Patreon?
Resident Evil. Now, Resident Evil was split between an S and a B, 50-50.
An S and a B. Interesting. Very cool.
They both got 50%.
As far as the straw poll, again, this is my first time looking at this. And how do I look at results? That's the main question here. Show results. That was got split between an S and an A. So I think splitting between an S and an A, S and a B means S tier is what the audience has agreed that Resident Evil 4 gets to be at. So with 2 S tier votes and 1 A tier vote, that would place it in the S tier. But there's a twist. I've decided earlier in the season that one time a season, I'm allowed to pull some chicanery. I'm calling this one, I Demand a Recount, where I go back, and if there's one game a year, or a season, excuse me, where I feel like maybe I didn't think my vote all the way through, or maybe I got caught up in the moment, I'm allowed to, at this point of the season, reassess one of my votes, and I'm going to use my recount for Resident Evil 4.
Let me talk you out of listening to your heart.
Listen, here's the thing. People bring games that they like and they want to talk about, and I get caught up in it. And again, I think that this game is a good game. But at the end of the day, when it came down to it, the controls, again, playing the original version, are atrocious. And we talked about it in the episode, and I didn't really take into account. Dave Jackson himself mentions, oh yeah, the last third of this game is very bad. Everything on the island is very awful. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So he convinced me at the time to go into A, but I'm actually now switching this one to a B. B is
your one.
This is my one for the season. Now I'm only doing it one time. B is great games. B tier, great games. This tier could be recommended for fans of the genre or hardcore players. This could represent general well-received games, popular in their time, or represented by a sizable fan base. Yeah, I don't think it's as much as I'm like not obsessed with that game, I'm not going to pretend like that's just like a badly made game and people are wrong. I think people who were around to play GameCube games like this game a lot, and anyone else would not enjoy it as much. So between,
I respect the fact that you're all like, sorry, people, these are the rules, as you're making them up as you go along.
listen, you've got to have fun. You got to have fun, right? So between an S from the audience, an S from Dave Jackson, and a B from me, I believe that drops this game down into the A tier. That's the way that I'm doing the math. So Resident Evil 4, the original, is an A tier video game according to the Tier List of Video Game Podcast.
I feel good about that. I do.
That's not bad. It's a very good spot. Not bad at all. Next up, we had Inscryption. Had Jerica Hanna on as a guest for this one. Pretty cut and dry on this one. Me and Jerica both decided Inscryption was an A tier video game. We both enjoyed it a lot. We did not, think it was one of the top 25 of all time, but we really, really dug the game. I adore that game. I think it's great. Inscryption is an A for both me and Jerica, so it's going to be hard to move it down from that spot. But what did the Patreon have to say, Brian?
It's going to be hard to move it down from that spot or up.
It could go up, I suppose, yeah.
Now, I have a question. Does your vote carry extra weight? Are these weighted in any way?
No. Every vote is equal the same. But audience only gets one vote. That's the way that I played it out, like the overall audience. But it equals the same as me and Jerica.
Here's the thing. Patreon's sitting all 100% S tier.
S tier. Ooh, that's interesting. Now we'll go and check out the straw poll. How many votes, by the way, were over on Patreon for what it's worth?
2.
We got 2 of those over there. All right. Inscryption. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'll tell you later.
Here's the thing. Inscryption over on, it doesn't matter because the straw poll only had 1 vote on this one, but that was an A tier game over according to the straw poll. So overall, it becomes an S tier game for Inscryption.
I was one of the ones that contributed to the S tier on Patreon. And my reasoning was I played this game before I watched your video. Jerica, no. She was talking about it. And the more she described, the more I was like, I know I heard a lot about this, but it sounded like it wasn't really my shit. But the more she talked about it, I was like, this is actually kind of my shit. So I went and played it. I actually bought it. I went through and I thought the third half, part 3 of the game.
Part 3, Act 3.
It sank a little bit for me, but the whole game, I just felt like I have never played anything as bonkers as this before. And if you took away all the bonkersness and just made it a card game, I would thoroughly enjoy and play it still. So I was like, even now, understanding your ranking system, S tier is like potential for game of the year, right? Pody Goaty.
Yep, it's a Pody Goaty.
I still feel good about S tier. This is a solid, unique game, and you don't get unique games very often these days.
Yeah, that one stands out for sure. So what I have decided to do, another rule change on the fly. No, I had this idea in mind of like, what do we do if the votes don't necessarily add up mathematically because we're kind of just doing this by vibes. What I've decided to do is, me and Jerica put it in A. The audience voted for S. So what Inscryption is going to do is go to the top of A tier. It is the number 1 game in A tier for the season. So it's the next step. It is the best A tier game is basically the way that I'm looking at that. So Resident Evil now goes to the number 2 A tier game of the season. Inscryption, the number 1 A tier game of the season.
I still feel good. I'm going to continue being a patron. I'm not going to drop the show. You haven't pissed me off yet.
I appreciate that. Next up, we had Metroid Fusion. Matt Storm was the guest on that one. They gave it an S. And my first time ever playing Metroid Fusion, first time beating, I think, a 2D Metroid game, maybe just Metroid game in general. I liked it a lot. I gave that an A tier. What did the Patreon decide to vote on?
This is tricky. This might turn into a straw poll decision because we've got 1 for S, 1 for A.
Very interesting. I know that Matt Storm is on the Patreon, so I have a guess on how that happened, but that's completely fine. I will take it to the straw poll, and we will show the results. Oh, interesting. It's an S and a B vote is what's over on the straw poll, but 2 S's takes it above and beyond. So I believe that would, in fact, between
Puts it at the lowest of the S tier.
the lowest S tier. Well, because I'm trying to think about it. Because yeah, Jerk, AAs and an S and two S's and an A. Yeah, that would make Metroid Fusion the first S tier game officially on the tier list of video game podcast rankings. Wild. But hey, that's how the cards fall. Different game, but here we are. We're having a good time. Have you ever played Fusion? How do you feel about this one?
I played Fusion. Oh, I had it up in my attic. Wink, wink. And this one, man, it was like a decade ago or more. Maybe it was 15 years ago. And I went back recently and I replayed it on, again, I got it out of my attic and I played it. I have this phone that I have set up. It's like an old janky Android and I got a Backbone controller for it. And so I'm using it as my handhold and it works, man. It's nice for that and for Steam Link. And I got about halfway to 3/4 of the way through Metroid Fusion again, and there was parts where I got pretty frustrated. I came off of playing Dread. Metroid Dread is smooth as butter, and this is like a little more herky-jerky. So I had a little bit of negative influence in that regard. It's like going back in time and playing older games. It's sometimes rough. So I felt like, what did I say? I felt like A was, it's a good solid game. I'd recommend it, especially to fans of the genre, but even to just anybody that wants a good side scroller. But is it the best of all time? Is it better than the other Metroids? Is it going to be Game of the Year? I don't think I could do it.
That was my arguments, and hey, guess what? I voted for A, but everyone else voted for S. So here we are. You made this bed laying it, but no, it's still a good game. I enjoyed it a lot.
It's got a cult following.
Yeah. Next up, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Jacob McCourt came on and talked about this one with me. I thought it was crazy. I'm like, Jacob, I love you. Thank you for bringing a fighting game to talk about on the tier list for people who are not fighting game professionals. On that episode, Jacob and I both gave it an A. We're like, yeah, solid game. We like it a lot. I think what came down to, I was going between A and B, and then I had Jacob read off the Game of the Year candidates for that year at Keeley's Game Awards, and I was like, you know what? That's in the top 3 of the 6. I got to kind of give it some credit. So it actually bumped me up to an A on that one. What happened over on the Patreon, if anything?
We have 1A, we have 1B.
Okay, very good. We'll take it to the straw poll and see where it ends up. Straw poll has decided it is an A. So the A's have it. That is, I don't know, is that our first like completely agree between the audience and both guests? I think everybody on that one said A at the end of that.
I tell you a funny little bit about Smash Bros.
Yeah, go for it.
Back in the day, back in ancient times, when the first Smash Bros. Was released, I was a wee lad of 12 or 13 or 14 years old.
I was like 9 or 10 when that game came out. Something.
Yeah, I was just a preteen or teenager, somewhere in there. Man, that was a novelty. I'd never seen anything like that before. That was the Avengers Endgame of video games, right? So my buddy and I played it so much that we got to the point where we were taking our N64 controllers and flipping them upside down and setting 2 level 9 computer characters, and we were beating them on upside down backwards controllers.
Man.
But I've lost those skills since then. Actually, Smash Bros. Taught me about big fish in small ponds, because this was not strictly before the days of online gaming in the internet, but I didn't do it much. And so I got so freaking good at Smash Bros. And then Smash Bros. Melee. My buddies and I play all the time, and me and my friend would just kill everybody. And so we thought we were the goats of this game. Well, we went on a quiz trip. Our churches had these quiz tournaments where you'd memorize Bible verses, and then you'd go do this sort of Jeopardy style game where you'd have to answer the questions, try to activate first before the other teammates, and you could answer the question. So we'd have to go out of town to these other churches. I have 1,000 stories about these events.
Your childhood is insane. Yeah.
But what I learned was we went to one church and they had a GameCube set up and they had Smash Bros. Melee, and my buddy and I were ready to just mop the floor with these people. And guess what happened? Lo and behold, we got our asses handed to us, and that's when I learned I was a big fish in a small pond. And now everybody knows that. You play online and you get killed because there's going to be somebody else better than you. But that was my first realization into that world of like, there's people out in the world who spend more time on video games than I do.
Yeah, that Fox McCloud really humbled you really quickly. Yeah, for me, I think we talked about it on the episode, but the only reason I bought a Switch 1 was to play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And then after about a year and I got tired of it, I sold it and never thought about it again.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Crazy.
I went so hard on these two games, but when I go back, it's not that I don't like Smash, it's that I feel like it doesn't have that sustainability unless you're tournament level or something. I ended up giving it a B. I feel a little bit guilty, but it just doesn't capture the magic for me the way it used to. Maybe I just don't have enough friends like I used to. It used to be the party game, and now it's like, well, the magic is gone.
Now we're old and alone. Speaking about being alone, moving on to Tunic. Tunic was a game that Jill Grote came on, and we talked about. Jill Grote, a big fan of Tunic, did a lot of coverage at Game Informer at the time, and she gave us a history lesson and told us everything about it, and I adore that episode, and I adore Jill a lot. Jill gave it an S tier. I also gave it an S tier. Absolutely love Tunic. It's a great time. What did the voters say about it?
I don't know. This is weird because it says 1 vote total, but it's not letting me see what the vote is. I don't know if that's a Patreon thing where it's like, well, you need another vote to find out the results or something, but...
Oh, I don't know. Here's the funny thing, though. Regardless of what that it says, I'm on the straw poll. The most active game was on this straw poll was the most active game. 100% S tier. It has the most votes of any game this season, and it is 100% S tier. So, with 3 S tier votes, Tunic... Oh, shoot, that's Dave the Diver. Let me move the Tunic one over here. Tunic goes into the S tier, and not only goes in the S tier, it goes to the top of the S tier because it's the only one that absolutely dominated like that. So move over Metroid. Tunic is on the way. I hope, is that one that you didn't play? Is that one of these ones?
Yeah,
you should get to it.
I probably should. The more I listened to you guys talk about it, and she was so passionate, I was like, she could talk about this game more than why am I spacing on his name?
More than
freaking now that he's not on Barf as a regular host. Cozy Bear. I've never heard anybody talk about games more passionately than Cozy Bear, but here she came and she did. The more she talked about it, the more I thought, I don't know. It's unlike the shit. I've had too much mezcal. I can't remember.
You've had half of a beer and you're already done. Crazy. That's fine. We can move on.
I should drink more. Actually, I think that's what.
Then you'll come back around. Absolutely. We're gonna move on to our final game of season 1. Dave the Diver. I was joined by Emily and Kate of No Small Games. Talked all about that. It's fun for them because they normally don't get to talk about, because they do indie game coverage specifically, and there's the whole Game Awards debate about if Dave the Diver's indie or not. So they enjoyed being able to actually talk about a game that they just like a lot. Emily and Kate, I was able to combine their votes because they gave the same vote. They both gave it an A. I gave it a B. Again, I still really, really like it. I'm not obsessed with Dave the Diver, but I do thoroughly enjoy it. They enjoyed it a little bit more than me. What did the audience say about Dave the Diver?
Are you counting their votes as 1, or are we saying 3 votes from the hosts?
I'm going to say their vote is a 1. If I need to change it, I can, but they both gave it an A. Technically, they're one show. I'm just saying that's an A vote.
Well, from Patreon, we've got 1 A vote.
Okay, there we go. Straw Poll also agrees with that one. So, that's an AAB. So, unfortunately, sorry, Dave. I mean, you get to hang out here in the A tier with everybody else, but you are at the very end of the A tier.
Congratulations, Dave the Diver. You are the most medium A of all the A's.
So this is our final tier list for season 1 of the Tier List Video Game Podcast. Number 1 in the S tier is Tunic. Number 2 in the S tier is Metroid Fusion. Number 3 in the A tier is Inscryption. Number 4 in the A tier is Resident Evil 4. Number 5 in the A tier is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And number 6, also in the A tier, is Dave the Diver. So good, very good season. Hope you guys come along. Make sure to register your votes. It's in the description of every episode, so you can influence these votes in the future. Season 2 is on the way. As I am recording this, the first episode of Season 2 should be out May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Everyone enjoy that. So 2 short weeks, and we'll be moving on to Season 2.
Now, Season 2 was... Season 1 was... everybody pretty much brought their beloveds. I heard a rumor through the grapevine, which was a Gumby grapevine, that Season 2 had some stinkers, right?
I had some...
Less than...
Yeah, I have some guests on Season 2 who say we're specifically like, hey, I'm bringing games that I do not think are S or A tier. And I'm like, let's go. Please bring me some random shit. Listen, we can have fun. We can explore the scale. You can have a ton of fun with a C or a D. Straight up. You can. There's a game that people like that I might give a D or E just because I don't like the series. I'll play it. I'll see.
Kojima.
No, it's not a Kojima. It's pretty close, but yeah, it's not that.
I am super on board with it. I love the trash.
Yeah. I guess we can go ahead and announce it now. Again, Season 2, 6 episodes again. That'll run 2 a month every other week. First guest of Season 2, the man right beneath me, Brian Bridges. What's up, buddy?
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody.
What's up? My guy is bringing a game. I don't think I want to spoil it yet, but I am so fucking excited to play this video game that I think is going to be a hard C, but I am into it.
You using this video game, you have hooked me beyond the video game, and I have delved into other realms and completely. I'm taking Spanish lessons outside. I used to take some in college, and now we're taking some at our office to try it because we got a lot of Spanish customers. And so we have to write Spanish stories every week. 2 weeks ago, I wrote an 11-page, 5-chapter mystery in Spanish. We're supposed to write like 1 or 2 pagers, right? I got carried away, man. So I wrote this like murder mystery. I won't say what the game is, but it's related to this murder mystery kind of genre. And I got carried away, and I ended up not even using it because it was so full of plot holes and loose ends that I thought, I respect this author and this game and all the people who worked on this stuff because this is hard shit. I'm excited.
Man. That's so cool. Yeah, if you can maybe follow the clues and figure out what the first game of the season is. But again, we've got great guests come out every other week. May 4th is the first episode. In the meantime, if you want to go to youtube.com/AdamGumby, I posted my PAX East panel that I was able to host, Game Pretty, live at PAX East. That video is now up on youtube.com/AdamGumby, so you can watch me do some nonsense at PAX in the meantime while you wait for Season 2, but it will be here sooner than you know. Again, thank you, Brian, for coming and joining me. I'm very excited for our episode. Is there anything you want to say to the people before I cut you off?
No, it's all good. Cut me off.
Goodbye, everybody.